Hey, it's Tuxedo Mark. It's 8:57 p.m. on Monday, October 4, 2021. And this is my review of the Prisoner episode, Living in Harmony. Okay. I'm just. This episode is definitely filler. And. Okay. This does not feel like a Prisoner episode for most of its running time. It's like 50 minutes and 59 seconds long, so almost 51 minutes. And for over 40 of those minutes, it doesn't feel like an episode of The Prisoner. Hey, Big Boy and Alonso, thanks for joining me. Yeah, so, okay. It doesn't have the opening theme song. It doesn't have the title, The Prisoner, at least not at the beginning. I read that it's supposedly in the closing credits, but I don't remember seeing it there. All that it has is the episode title. It doesn't have like the typical introduction sequence with the dialogue exchange between number 6 and number 2. All of that's gone. You know what this episode is? It's a Western. Yeah. We're basically watching a Western in this British sci-fi drama series. Now, why did this happen? Well, oh, hey, watch my trash. Okay. So, apparently, Patrick McGowan had wanted to make only 6 or 7 episodes of The Prisoner. And networks like, no, we want to sell it overseas to the US. So 26 episodes, please. Well, he couldn't come up with 26, so they compromised on 17. And this is one of the filler episodes that he came up with. Partly because apparently he had long wished to act in a Western. So I guess he thought, I'll just put a Western episode in my own series. How does it fit? Well, I kept trying to figure that out while watching the episode because he basically plays a stranger that's new in a town in the Old West called Harmony. And the judge of the town wants him to take the role of sheriff. And there's a woman named Kathy whose brother was hanged. And there's a guy called the Kid who's in charge of guarding the jail. And we get all of the typical Western tropes. There's the saloon fight, there's the gunfight, the showdown, the jailbreak. So, how does this all tie into the main storyline of The Prisoner? Well, I kept theorizing, all right, is he in an elaborate set? He's not. He doesn't feel like he is completely unaware of what's going on. He's not like, what's this getup that I'm wearing? Why? Not really anything like that. Basically, he resigned. The episode opens. He resigns his position as sheriff and storms out, and then he's beaten up, and he wakes up in a strange town. So, kind of mirroring the standard opening theme song, but in a Western way. And it turns out that what it was an elaborate hallucination. The village, or number 2, and the person that he was working with in this episode, number 8, who plays the kid in the simulation, They built the town of Harmony a short distance from the village. And they put some kind of device on number 6, and they also pumped him full of hallucinogenic drugs to make him think he was a Western character. This is not revealed until a few minutes before the end of the episode. Kathy dies in the simulation, but she's actually, she works for the village, so she only died in the simulation. And if you couldn't tell already, the judge was the number 2 of this episode. So after number 6 is killed in a gunfight in the episode, he wakes up still in the saloon, but everyone's gone, and he takes the device off him, and he leaves the village, and there's a weird blending of music where you hear the typical Western music, but then you hear the typical music that's played by the band of the village, and they kind of mix together, or one starts and the other stops and just switches back and forth a bit. And finally, number 6 looks down over a hill and he sees the village there. So he goes into number 2's headquarters thing. He stares them down for a little bit. The woman that played Kathy looks like she's ashamed of what she did, and she starts crying. And number 2 berates number 8, saying, "I told you it wouldn't work." And number 8 blames number 2 for escalating the situation too early. And anyway, there's a lot of blaming. Number 6 storms out. And then Kathy, or whatever her, I don't know if she even has a name, she goes back to the set of the town of Harmony. And number 8 is there hiding under the stairs in the saloon, I think. And he chokes her. She screams. Number 6 happens to be nearby. He runs in there, and I think he kills number 8. No. Number 8 runs up the stairs, and he jumps off and kills himself, and number 2 rushes in and witnesses it. Number 2 had taken a taxi over to the set, and he witnessed it happen. Also, number 6 goes to check on Kathy, and she says something, and then she dies. And I'm surprised that she died, actually, because number 8 basically just choked her for a few seconds before number 6 showed up. And she was still able to scream out. So she should not have died. That just seemed really weird. But yeah, that's basically where the episode ends. Number 2's left with a couple dead people. And did anyone learn anything in this episode? Yeah. It was just an elaborate simulation by the village to try to... I don't know what they expected to do to number 6 here, honestly. It's definitely a filler episode. A lot of the music, the score, sounds reminiscent of the score from the Dollars trilogy starring Clint Eastwood. So they're definitely going for a real Western feel. Obviously, they filmed it in England, but apparently British audiences were very confused with this episode because it didn't even tell you that you were watching The Prisoner. You don't learn you're watching The Prisoner until number 6 wakes up from the simulation. For all that, if you just happen to come across it, you would think you're watching the pilot episode of some run-of-the-mill Western series. It's an outright story. It's just doesn't really matter. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's nice that they tried something different, but at the same time, it's like it's about as useful as an "It Was All a Dream" episode. Anyway, and for a series that was only 17 episodes long, I mean, it seems like a waste. Let me do some quick math. Yeah, that's basically over 5, almost 6% of the entire series. Is this one episode that, yeah. Let me bring up my spreadsheet and look at some stats really quick. So this episode was the 15th produced after number 14. And number 14 was Do Not Forsake Me, Oh My Darling, which is the one that Patrick McGoohan was mostly not in due to being in Hollywood filming a movie role at the time. So this episode, Living in Harmony, must have been filmed right after he got back to England. It was the 12th episode that was scheduled to air, ultimately aired at number 14. I see it listed in various viewing orders anywhere from number 10 to number 15. So we got like 10, 13, 14. Or no, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15. It seems position 14 is actually the most common. Let me see, and I'm viewing it in position. All right, so I've got 3 episodes of the series left. 1 regular episode and then the 2-part series finale. And honestly, just because of this episode and how little that actually matters, I feel like watching the next episode right away and then just closing out the series tomorrow by watching the final 2 episodes. Yeah, this one isn't one of my favorites. It was kind of interesting, and it kept me guessing. Like I was constantly trying to figure out what it means, how it ties in, and it's kind of what I expected. It was like a simulation of some kind. I was expecting the memory machine thing from A, B, and C to come back, but that wasn't it exactly. In fact, when number 6 awakes from his simulation in the empty town of Harmony, he finds cardboard cutouts of all of the characters, like the judge and the kid. So these hallucinogenic drugs that they pumped him with made him think the cardboard cutouts were actual people, and they spoke to him from number 2's office or whatever using microphones or like headsets, like 2-way headsets. And it's like that can't possibly work in real life. No, 1960s sci-fi tech. Anyway, yeah, so I'm going to go and watch the next episode right now. So I'll probably be doing another review later on this evening. Thanks for joining me. And it's 9:12 p.m. And that's it. Thanks for watching.